Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you, Minister, for taking this at such short notice. We really appreciate it, and thank you to Senator Éireann. I think it's very powerful. I want to begin by paying tribute to the whistleblower, to Shane Corr, for his bravery and integrity in pursuing this matter, and to Conor Ryan and RTE. It's public broadcasting at its best as the fourth pillar of our democracy. Minister, I don't have to imagine the horror and the sense of betrayal that families and children with autism felt last Thursday, because I was in telephone calls and text messages throughout the programme. Let's be clear, parents shouldn't have to sue the state to vindicate the rights of their child. So I appreciate that the state has a delicate balance of between provision of what is wanted and what can be done. But I appreciate that maybe in this, the gathering of data may well have been intended for non-malign purposes, but that is not an excuse for excessive monitoring and intrusion into the very private and vulnerable places of these families without their knowledge or consent. Minister, I have questions in this. You know, why was the normal process of discovery within the courts circumvented? Presumably that was so as to not reactivate a case or alert litigants that they were being monitored. So how dare they circumvent that process? What was the information gathered? Was it ever used? And if so, for what purpose? How widespread is this practice? Do other government departments have a similar culture of overreach in the face of, for instance, personal injuries claims? And that's even before I start in GDPR, and obviously that's my thing. And in my answer to Senator Garvey would be, get them all to put in a data subject access request, because litigation or not, whether dormant or active, they're still entitled to their files, save on legal privilege. So, you know, we have seen information being gathered without consent, without transparency, and when the appalling treatment of this information, that it was alleged that everybody in that unit had access to it. What an appalling lack of confidentiality and the very principle of GDPR, which is the integrity and the storage of any data. So I look forward to seeing the Senior Counsel advice. I really am very curious as to how it was justified. You know, so what does this say about the attitude of the real people behind this information and the consideration of them as real people with real rights? So I welcome the Taoiseach's statement that this situation merits further examination, and that he's speaking with your good self and other ministers with a view to setting up a multidisciplinary team to consider it. But we need it to have an independent chair. At the very least, it needs to be an independent chair. I venture to say we need a review across all departments to be sure that this culture is not subscribed to in other departments. So let's pour ourselves into resolving this issue. Let's not waste any more precious and finite resources in denying or staving off what is patently and constitutionally owed to the most vulnerable in our society, that is of our children. The Disability Federation of Ireland quite rightly questions our commitment to the implementation of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. Let's show them our commitment in our actions and responses, because these children deserve our determination in advancing their lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much.